name is Alex Tricolo and I'm the writer of SpeeL.com. My website is about empowering and inspiring everyone to take charge of our children's speech and language throughout the world. The site offers really practical, amazing content that's beneficial for teachers, parents, speech therapists, and any other therapists really. And even if you're a student studying speech therapy, this website's going to be a really great resource for you. I hope that by this stage you have had a little look through my website to see the fantastic freebies that I have available and that you have subscribed to my newsletter. It's super easy to do, just see here. I have a lot of new content that I'll be releasing over the next 6 to 12 months and beyond, including these easy to follow video tutorials, 5 blog posts per week, informational ebooks and school holiday packs, along with endless downloads. In fact, if you subscribe to my newsletter, you will receive a free ebook to download straight away. All of the content you see is written by me and based on my personal experiences from the past 6 years that I have been a speech pathologist, working together with children, families and teachers. Hi, I can't believe that we're in week 4 already, and at this point I just want to do a little bit of a quick recap. I know we've only done the f and v sound specifically, but I just want to make sure that I let you know that I am a really big advocate for carryover and being really functional. And I think it's really important that we find every opportunity we can for our children to practice the speech sounds that we're getting them to make in therapy. And so basically through this tutorial, I want to lead you through how you can find those opportunities throughout your whole day, whether you're a teacher, a speech therapist, a parent, anyone who's involved with working with a child on their speech sounds. But first, have a look and go back at the developmental expectation charts. These are going to be really important for making sure that the sounds you're working on are the right ones for your child. The second thing I want you to have a little bit of a look back at is the stimulability. So we talked a little bit about stimulability in week 2, and then we talked about it again in week 3 when we talked about f and v. And now that you have the examples that go with those sounds, it might make a little bit more sense. The other thing I want you to think about going back to the f and v tutorial is which level are you working at with your child on their speech sound. So remember, we don't dive straight into carryover. We can, but we have to make sure that we're picking the right level that's achievable for our child. So we might have to go back down to just practicing the sound on its own, practicing it in words, in different positions in words, in phrases, in sentences, and in conversation. So make sure that you're choosing the right level. So there is a handout that goes with this one, and it looks like this. So speech therapists, you may find this useful if you're looking at planning activities around a specific sound with a particular environment or a toy that's in the child's environment. And parents, you might find it really useful as a way to work through some of the things that you have at home and some of the parts of your day to make sure that you're embedding the speech sound practice into the day. So first, I hope you've got it next to you. What is the sound that you are working on? And secondly, is that sound stimulable? If it's not, go back and either work on stimulability of that sound or choose a different sound that is stimulable. The stimulable box has to say yes. The third box, which is really important, is what level are you going to be working at? So are you working just on the sound, or are you working on it in words, in phrases, sentences, and or conversation? So next I want you to brainstorm the 3 environments that your child spends the most time and is motivated to go to. It might be school, home, the beach, the park, their football training. It could even be a time of day like dinner, bath time or bedtime, or even just driving along in the car. Now, for the sake of this exercise, the child I'm working with is working on the S sound. It is stimulable, and I'm working at the single word level. The most common and favourite environments that I'm going to choose are the park, the car, and morning tea time. So for this activity, I'm going to talk about the park. I'm going to that location, I'm going to look around and write down as many words, phrases and discussion points as I can. And I'm going to make sure I'm doing it at the right level. So I'm only going to choose words for my child. For me, I'm going to write down swing, set, slide, ready, set, go, sing, spin, start, stop, sand, sky, steps, stairs, race, castle, 6, 7, and I probably could go on. So now I'm going to go to the park with my kid and just do some free play and say these words a lot while we're playing. This is fantastic for developing their hearing skills, their discrimination skills between different words, and their vocabulary. The only thing with this is that there is no compulsory need for them to say the words. They might be really busy and quiet, concentrating on playing and having fun, and it just isn't nice to force them to say the words just because. So, I want to take it one step further. I'm going to create some mini activities that I can do repetitively with my kid so that they can do some practice of the speech sound that they're working on. I let them know that we're going to do this before we go, so they know it's not just a free play one. And maybe even have some incentive if I really need it, which I tend to try and avoid. So I might say that we get to do 10 minutes of my activity and then their activity of choice. It's good for them to actually know that they are practicing their speech sounds. So the activities that I create need a task orientation with it that is clear and easy to understand, and it ensures that the child has to say something. So to be task orientated, the child might have to ask for something, which is making a request. They might tell someone to do something, which is a command. They might comment on something, or they might have to describe something. These give purpose and often get a reaction from the listener, which means that kids are way more motivated to use the language that you are telling them to use. So I'm going to design an activity at the park on my paper. I'm working on the S sound, it's stimulable, and we are practicing at word level, and I'm at the park. I see a really fun spinning piece of playground equipment. So the vocab that I'm going to pick from my list is start, spin, stop, 6, 7, and set, as in ready, set, go. And the task that I'm going to assign is making requests. Okay, so this is my activity. The kid gets on the spinning equipment and then they choose a number between 1 and 10. They have to say either start, spin, or ready, set, go for me to start spinning. And they have to then, while I'm spinning, count up to the number that they chose and stop. And keep in mind that when they said start or spin or ready, set, go, I'm only going to do it if they say the sound in that word correctly. Otherwise, they have to try again. And when they say 6 and 7 when they're counting, they have to say the S in those words correctly as well. Otherwise, we might go round again. When they reach the number that they said in step number 2, they have to yell out, stop. And I'm only going to stop if they use the S sound. And then we go again. The thing is that sometimes kids don't want you to stop, so I might purposely stop. Or I might go really, really fast so that they want me to stop. So you can see it's really simple, but it's getting a lot of repetition and it's really fun. And it's using something that's just in the playground that I can see that's going to be really fun for kids to play with. It's giving them lots of opportunities, and we can do that repetition so many times in 10 minutes. So see if you can choose something in your environment that you've chosen, using the sound at the right level, using some of the vocabulary that you found in that environment. So when I start doing this sort of activity, my mind starts racing with all the different things I can see in the playground, at the park, and I can't stop thinking of ideas to work on the sound in that environment once I get going. So I could do an obstacle course. I might even play I Spy, which has our beautiful sound in it. I might do some running races, especially if I have a small group of children. And I might even do a really fun treasure hunt at the park for lots of things that start with S. The more you do the activities and the more you get used to planning these activities, the more you will just see opportunities all around you for working on the sound that you want to work on. And it is so much fun. So you will find that every single week when I talk about individual sounds, I will be talking about choosing functional targets and embedding these into your child's daily environment. Next week, we're going to have a lot of fun with the S sound. Many kids have trouble with this sound, so that's why I'm doing it nice and early so that you can use it as a resource if your child or your client is having trouble with this sound. Did you love all of the activities in these videos so far? I'm soon going to be releasing an ebook full of all my functional activities for all of the speech sounds that I work on. Stay tuned for it and make sure that you subscribe to the mailing list on my website, because this is the only way that you'll find out about my ebook at the beginning. I really hope that you're enjoying the series so far. As always, if you have any questions or queries or suggestions even, just get in touch with me through Facebook, email or through my website. As always, I hope that you found something to put in your pocket, and I'll see you next week.